All right, I'm recording, and now I'm going to spotlight you. There you go. All right.
Hold on, Musket. Of course, now my dog comes in and wants to go to the bathroom.
Of course. All right. Okay. So we are here now with Charisse for relationship building to infinity and beyond.
Woo!
We're just flying through stuff this afternoon.
We are. And so I know some of you earlier talked about, you needed systems for customer care. So that's kind of what this is. We're going to talk about, how long, again, things have been feeding into each other, like some of the things that Laura talked about earlier feed into this part of my talk that I'm talking about. So I want to share with you just about customer care a little bit, creating those relationships so that you're not that salesperson. You're that friend or that consultant that helps me get things, new recipes and ideas. I don't want my customers thinking me as a consultant, more of a friend, a helper. All right. So good customer service shapes the perception of you and your business. Where customer care gets involved is building the relationships with the customers before, during, and after the party. It's really one of the most important elements of growing your business. So, and I said before, during, and after, and I'm going to get into each of those and kind of talk about those. But it really begins with that first conversation you have with the customer as you get to know them. If you were at a cooking show, you'd be asking, so how do you know Susie Host? Where do your kids go to school? How old are your kids? Things like that. That's the relationship. You're building it right there, all right? And you do that in virtual parties too, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute. From there, then you're talking about how, you have products and recipes that are going to solve those solve those problems, be the solution. And then, you're the consultant. Yes, you got the sale, but really, for me, it's more about that I am becoming a part of their life and becoming their sort of assistant, I'm about to be their assistant in the kitchen, so to speak. So having a simple system, again, we're coming back to those systems that Linda talked about, to provide ongoing customer care before, during, and after the party results in customer loyalty, more sales, and a nice, healthy business. I just had a customer that I only met her back in February through a virtual party, of course, and she reached out to me. She goes, I need to place an order, but I thought maybe you might have a host that could have, do you have a link for a host that maybe could use a little boost? I had a host that was probably like $30 from $700. And she's like, I just can't get it. I don't have anybody else to ask. I got my $650. I'm okay. Well, you know what? I gave that past customer that host link, and she was only going to originally buy a couple of dill seasonings because that's what she really needed. And then she was asking me about some measuring spoons and whatever, and she ordered measuring spoons too. She had like a $32 order, which was exactly what my host needed to get over. I didn't tell her she needed, how much she needed to get over. I said she was really close. So of course then, because she did help her out and she remembered me, and I thanked her immensely for that, remembering me and thinking about me. And because she helped, I gave a little gift to her. And I told her I included an extra gift with her order. And I had a Season's Best Cookbook, best gift ever. So anyways, but you want those people to remember you. And again, I'm going to talk about systems, about ways to make sure that they are remembering you. So forever, I've learned, since Pamper Chef, since I started with Pamper Chef, I've been taught the 2 + 2 + 2 plan, all right, for providing excellent service throughout after the sale. So the 2 + 2 + 2 is basically 2 weeks, within 2 days after, 2 weeks after, and 2 months after, all right? So that's kind of where my system kind of started from, and then I've built on it. So let me go back a bit and talk about before the party. So you're going to create that relationship before the party. With virtual parties, that's your pre-party days, okay? You've already started that relationship with your host because hopefully, you've either talked to them or gotten some information through them through messaging or texting about who they are, what their family eats, what kind of lifestyle is. They're busy, that they soccer moms, whatever it is. But now you need to get to know your customers. So I always do this introduction post about myself that includes a picture of me. So I took basically what Pamper Chef picture that has the what's a virtual party like, and it shows like two people on their phone together. I took that picture out and I put a picture of me in there. So that I started talking about what the party's going to be like, but I've also got a picture of me, and I talk about my business. I talk about a little bit about my why, but then that's kind of that. I asked them to, I said, hey, give me some love, show me some love, or some likes, some things like that, just to promote engagement in that. But what I'm really doing is setting up for my next post. So my next post says, now that I've introduced myself, I want to get to know all of you better. Tell me a little bit about you and your family for an entry into the prize drawing. And I have this picture that says, tell me about your family, your grandkids, your fur babies. So many of my guests comment on this and share pictures, which I think is awesome. They're willing to share with somebody. They have no idea who they are. I mean, they don't know me. Most of them don't. They have never partied with me, but they're sharing about themselves, about their family. And I will tell you, we're not glued to our phones. We're not glued to our computers. We're not commenting. We don't have to comment on everything. But on that one post, I absolutely comment a reply on I reply to every single comment on that post. I start out with a compliment. Laura was talking about everybody loves a compliment, right? So you start out with that compliment. I compliment, oh my God, those kids are so cute. That's the cutest dog ever. Maybe they talk about how long they've been married. I say, congratulations, for 23 years together or whatever it is. But somewhere in there's a compliment starting out with, all right? And then I might say something else related. And then I always end with a question. So if it's a picture of their dog, I might say, what's the dog's name? Or how old is the dog? If it's their kids, if they haven't told me their ages, I might ask. If there's pictures and they're young, like school age kids, I'll usually ask, well, earlier in the summer, I was asking, how did they do with distance learning? Because everybody was out of school. How did your kids do with that? If they were a teacher, I might ask, how did you do with distance learning? Because a lot of teachers struggled with that as well. And now as school is getting back, I'll ask that question again. What is your plans for school, your kids going to school or not going to school? It lets me know kind of what they might need as far as are they going to need a ceramic egg cooker for breakfast things, snack bar makers, things like that. It lets me get to know them. All right. And we may go back and forth a couple times on that conversation, but that is my one most absolute important post of my party, because that's what gets me getting to know them. The other thing is when they're posting about their favorite products. This is kind of during the party. If they're posting about the products, what their favorite one is, I will reply to that. Or if it's something like the pizza stone, well, what do you like to make on that? That gives me an idea of are they just doing pizza? Do they need other ideas? Do they need my e-cookbook for that? Do they have it? So many people, the decumbered baker, and they're like, oh my gosh, I forgot I had that in my cabinet. I don't think I've ever used that. And I'm like, girl, you got to get that out of your cabinet. I'm sending you an e-cookbook with tons of ideas, and the first thing you have to make is the pork tenderloins, 2 of them done in 18 minutes. You're going to love it. It's easy peasy dinner. So they're like, what? I didn't know I could do that with that. So I'm giving them more for stuff they already have. All right. And they're like, what? She's giving us stuff and we haven't even bought anything yet. So those are things that I'm doing during the party. Then when they place their order, so I respond, that's the 2-day part. That's the first 2 in our 2-day or 2-2-2 plan. And so you want to reply to them within 2 days, thank them for the order. I like to do it within 24 hours, and I do it via text message because that seems to get me the best response from most people. If the phone they give me is a landline, then I hope that they're in the party so that then I send a friend request and I message them. And I let them, I do a little message on the post that when I thank them for the order, and I say, hey, I just sent you a private message, check it out. So, but I just basically say, hi, Susie, it's Charisse, Pampered Chef. I want to personally thank you for your order on Amanda's party. You're going to love that, something that they purchased. And it's not always the most expensive thing. It's usually something that maybe I have an e-cookbook for. Do you have any questions about anything you ordered or saw as you were shopping? Again, I want to give them more. So if they have questions about anything, I want to make sure that I'm answering those questions. When they reply, I'll offer a recipe or e-cookbook for a product they purchased. Depending on what I've learned about them, I may offer another recipe or something if they didn't order anything that has a recipe. And then I make sure that they're on my email list. If they didn't mark that off, I find out for sure. And then I basically just say, hope you enjoy the party and find some recipes and tips to try. I also want to let you know about the 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you're not loving your product, let me know right away, and we'll get them replaced or refunded for you. Your items should arrive in an approximate time, and I'll let you know when they are shipped. So I do track shipping. I do text them when their order is shipped. That's just a whole nother thing. I want them to know that the package is coming. I know they're getting an email, but if they're like a lot of people, we get so many emails, we don't read half of them. A text message for me, they're going to read, and they're going to, oh, okay, I'll look for that, and I want them to know that I'm going to tell them when it's shipped. I'm going to be in touch with them again. All right. Then another contact is immediately after the party. I'm kind of not letting them go. So if I haven't, so the day after the party ends, if I haven't already talked to them about booking, because most times at this point, as far as my system for getting bookings for parties, I probably have already talked to half to 3/4 of the people that have placed orders about booking a party. Either they've replied to my drawing slip, or the host has asked them because it's part of the host challenge, or maybe it came up in another conversation, or they just said, hey, I want to book a party. So it's only really about like half to 1/4 of the people that ordered that I am now messaging. But I do message them, and I say, hey, thank you for participating in Amanda's virtual Pampered Chef party this past week. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks again for your order. We really appreciate it. I'm not sure you got everything on your wish list or not, but Amanda is just one booking away from getting an awesome bonus gift from me. Virtual parties are super easy, and everyone is looking for a fun distraction. We partner together, and you get all the rewards, or you can do a fundraiser for your favorite charity or organization. What do you think? Would you like to surprise Amanda by being one of her bookings? Your party can be anytime within the next 6 months. I book it for any 6 months out if I can, or any time in the 6 months. So anyways, then, if they say, of course we'll go through the no, or no, not now, no, not ever. If it's a no, not ever, I just thank them for their honesty. And I tell, I never know unless I ask, winky face. I say, now this is the part where I get them. I got to make sure that I'm in their phone. Please add me to your contacts as Pampered Chef Charisse, and keep me in mind if you hear of anyone who might really appreciate the chance to earn free products, or who really enjoy gathering friends together. I'll send you a referral gift when they host or order. And most of them say, oh, yes, of course I will. And I've gotten referrals from that before. I had last Christmas time, somebody was looking for a can opener, Laura. They wanted a can opener for her daughter. And she had just posted out on Facebook, does anybody know a Paper Chef consultant? I need a new can opener for my daughter. And 2 of my past customers both tagged me in that post. I sent them each a Season's Best Cookbook. All right. A little happy mail makes everybody happy. Now, if they said no, not ever, I'll reply, I look forward to hosting you. I look forward to hooking you up with free products in the future. And then I ask them to put me in their contacts and remember me. So that's just another way of making sure that they're in your phone, in their contacts. They're not going to remember Charisse. If they remember the name, they're not going to remember how to spell it. So that's why I say put me under Pampered Chef Charisse. How am I doing on time here? Am I okay?
Oh, you're doing
I'm almost done.
about 20 minutes.
Oh, I got what?
30 minutes.
I got 20.
Sorry, 30 minutes.
Okay, I'm plenty of time.
Girl.
So, so then you're 2 weeks after the party. Well, right now it's not really 2 weeks because you're 2 weeks after the party. It's basically your out of the box call, or I don't call, I text. All right, whatever you're going to do. These can be done in any form that if you want to call them, call them. I do most everything by text messaging. I feel I get the best responses. So basically, in a normal world, we would do this 2 weeks after the party. Right now, it's about 2 months after the party, and then I'll be doing it again in 4 months. But I just basically kind of send them a message, hey, it's Charisse from Amanda's Pampered Chef Party. Checking in to make sure that you did receive your package and that you've taken it out of the box. And then they'll, some other things that you might want to add to the conversation or then reply back and forth, because you want to make sure that you always end with a question until you've gotten all the answers you want, right? And you've got all the information and taken it as far as you want to go. For me, the 2 week or the out of the box contact is all about making sure they have everything they need to use that product. So that means, do they know how to use it? Do they know how to open it? Do they know how to clean it? They know it's dishwasher safe. Do they have all the recipes they need for it? Then I'll ask what they made with it. I do ask them if they have anything else that was on their wish list, in case I haven't had that conversation with them yet, or they didn't fill out a wish list with me. And I'll say, what other items are on your wish list so that I can keep an eye out for a deal or a sale on them for you. All right. Everybody wants a deal or a sale. All right. And then I kind of end with, well, thank them for their time, and I'll be in touch again. But my website is always open, and I give them my website. Okay. Which also, as long as you make sure you have a picture of yourself on your website, gives them my face. They can see me again. All right. The 2 months after the party, or 2 months after my out of the box call, basically, I just kind of kept checking in again with them. And usually a lot of the times I start out with more of a personal nature. Maybe I remember something from the party. So how are the kiddos doing at school? I'm checking in to make sure you're still loving your products. How are the kids loving, doing with school? Or like if it was my customer care that I'm doing from my parties back in March, February, January, I might say, how's your summer going? So I kind of tell them that I'm checking in to make sure that they're still loving their products, but I want to know how they're doing. Okay. Again, relationship. You want to make sure that you're not just all about that you don't want them thinking that you're just calling for maybe another booking or a party or, a sale. Make sure that they understand that you're talking about them. Do you need recipes for back to school? How's your back to school? Do you have a meal plan? I have some great power plan type recipes that you can cook once and kind of eat all week. Things like that, they will love that. All right. Share what's new. If they bought, say they bought the quick cooker, I got new accessories for it now, or they bought, you know, whatever they have. Talk about new accessories. Talk about new products. Ask if you can send them the sneak peek catalog. That's the mini catalog in my vocabulary. Talk about new party themes. You know, I'm doing a back to school theme right now, or currently I'm doing, you know, no oven and garden to table is my themes right now going on. What do you think about gathering some friends online together? You know, just talk about those things. And then if they're not part of your VIP group, and I do check to see if they're a member of my VIP group before I get on the phone with them or start message them, or when they do message me back and we start that conversation, I'll double check it. And actually, I don't really usually have to double check it because I have, I use a customer care tracker. And that's how I keep track. Now, Paper Chef does have a customer care tracker. I have tweaked mine, and I'm happy to share it with you guys in the group. But it allows me to then use this one tracker from the start of the party, from the first order through that 2-month, give or take, period. All right. And then I use this to go back to, you know, in a few months, you know, I'll keep going back to them every couple months just to check in on them. You know, maybe they need something new. Seasons change, you need new recipes. That's really my system. And that's how I, you know, it's hard sometimes. So one thing I do, I build it into my schedule. I will tell you that, because thinking about, okay, when do you find time to do these reach outs? So you know, to our teams, we preach the, you know, 25 reach outs a day, at least 4 to 5 times a week. So one of those days is kind of what I call my cold call. I reach out to 25 people that I probably haven't done business with before, whether it's on Facebook or through my phone contacts, that I really haven't done anything with. Then, so that's, like say Monday, that's my 25 contacts. On Tuesday, it's my 2-week contacts. So I reach out to at least 25 people. So that's like, you know, 2, 3, 4 usually 2 parties, give or take, sometimes 1, but 2 parties. I'll do a one on, like say Tuesday, and that's my 25 reach outs for that day. All right. On Wednesday, I'm usually doing my my 2-month reach outs. I'll do 25 again, or, you know, 2 parties worth at least. And then on Thursday, usually Thursday or Friday, I do, I reach out to my rock stars in my parties that, you know, about possibly recruiting that, you know, that's usually a recruiting type thing. So any questions, guys?
Anne wants to know if you can please post the tracker in the group.
I will.
And Jenna wants to know if you can post some of the wording that you're using, because she can't write or type that fast. And Lisa would like to know if you can post the whole system that you're using in the group.
I will share my notes and things, and I have most of it in a Google document, the words, so that, because I share them with my team, so that they can do that as well, going through it. Awesome. But it all kind of comes full circle. I mean, it's you start out with them, getting to know them, and you just have to keep going. I mean, it's a relationship business. Laura said it, you know, I think Linda said it, and that's what it's all about. Mm-hmm. And building that relationship and keeping it going. And I don't try to make them all about sales. I mean, of course, I want everybody to book a party. I want everybody to have fun with me. But making sure that I'm helping them and giving them something else is really important to me, and into making my business what I want it to be.
Absolutely.
Anything else?
Mary wants to know, what determines if someone is a VIP?
Anybody that places an order or just wants to hang out with me. I don't usually really call it my VIP group. I call it my foodie community. And that's really where that's what I call it when I'm in that group. And that's how I invite them to it for the most part. But it's pretty much anybody that wants to join me. They're a VIP in my book if they want to hang out with me, because
There you go, foodie community. I love it. Sarah says she has such a hard time keeping up with all the reach outs. Do you do block time management? Sorry if you've already said this.
yeah, every Monday through Friday at 2:30, I'm doing my reach outs. That's my set time. About 2:30 to 3, I give myself half an hour in case I have some replies that come back during that time. Friday is usually my follow-ups to earlier in the week.
Awesome. Do you give away prizes?
Do give away prizes. Season's Best Cookbook, best deal ever. No, that I do give away. So I do four drawings in my parties. The first one is an early bird drawing that I offer them. So I have an early bird drawing. I have my survey drawing, and I do a wish list Wednesday drawing. And those are all Season's Best Cookbooks. And I message them. I tell them that I say, congratulations, you won. Message me for details on your prize. And then when they message me, I tell them I have a 2-tier system, that I have a really great Season's Best Cookbook that I'm happy to mail out to them right away. Or what I'd rather them do is to book a party with me and upgrade their prize to a product valued at up to $20 with their host order. And then when they place that $20 doesn't, it's not really $20 out of my pocket, because you're putting on the host order using the discount and you're getting commission on it. And I usually I've been getting more bookings with that as a little, especially the early birds. I can usually convert them right away, because just so you know, my early bird winners are the ones that have already been so active in the party in 3 days. So they're my winners, you know. I do block parties. I pick an early bird winner for all 4 or 5 parties that I'm running that week. The wish list and the the survey is only 1 winner. All right, so I'm giving about 6 Season's Best Cookbooks out a week for 5 parties. All right, and then I do a grand prize, which is 1 small flexible cutting mat, and that gets mailed to them because I'm on direct ship, so I can't add it to the party, and it's really easy for me to put flat mail rail, you know, one of those cutting mats, and they love them. They're like, oh my gosh, I love this cutting mat. They message me. I'm like, you're welcome. So that's my prizes, is just mostly Season's Best Cookbooks.
Awesome. Anybody have anything else? I really hope you guys have been writing down questions, because we have the Q&A panel coming up next. Janice wants to know, how do they win the grand prize?
They've usually are very active in the party. They placed an order and they booked a party. Or they said they're going to book a party, you know, like something or maybe it's somebody that's kind of like said maybe they were interested in the business, that I want to be able to give them more information, because I always include an opportunity brochure when I'm sending all my gifts, prizes out. And then I can always, that tail kills me every time, Laura, I'm telling you. Because if it's a grand prize winner, I might message them in a week or 2 after I mail it out. Hey, did you get the grand prize? I'm just checking. The mail system has been a little slow. I want to make sure you got that. And that opens the door for me to have a conversation with them, possibly about recruiting or booking or something. That's how I pick a grand prize. I don't count my brownie points. I have brownie points. I don't count them.
I don't count points either. All right, Lisa wants to know, I've had parties lately that the posts have very few views. I've got engagement posts, but I don't know how to increase the views. Do you have any suggestions?
Make your party public For one, I do my parties publicly, my groups, I should say. That allows my host to actually share some of my posts to a personal wall. The other thing is make sure that your host is commenting on your post, because as soon as your host comments on them, it makes it more relevant for her friends, to her guests, to see them.
I've also started having my posts tag her guests, maybe not all of them, but those that are relevant, because that kind of, it's a little nudge just to say, you know, you're supposed to. But the more, if the host is not posting or tagging or commenting, then you have a problem. But it's a different problem. Right. And Facebook is being weird lately about views and things like that, but keeping the group public is really helpful.
I do turn it private after the party, but during the party, I encourage my host to share. She shares recipes out onto her public page, and people are like, what is that recipe, you know? So when they share it to their personal page, it makes your algorithms better because they're sharing. And that really helps. And like, they like to share, a lot of my hosts like to share, like I do a here's the scoop post. That's my FAQ kind of thing. And they'll share that right out. And that, you know, that has the ordering link, has everything in it that people need to know. And that's on our page now. So.
Awesome. Lisa also wants to know if we're going to talk more about block parties. She is intrigued. Do you want to save that for the panel, or do you want to touch on that now?
Either way.
I mean, we still have a few minutes. We've got about 10 minutes.
I can talk about block parties. I've been doing them since last September because I had started last fall with a huge schedule of 5 to 6 parties a week. And I did 5 parties the first week of September and went, oh my God, 5 single parties. I went, oh my God, I cannot do this. I can't go into 5 parties. I couldn't remember which one I had done. I had to list to keep myself notes of which one I had to go into. It was too confusing for me. I couldn't do that anymore. Up until that point, I'd only been doing maybe 2 or 3 a week. So I decided to do block parties, and I just changed. I basically messaged my host and said, I forget, somebody had given me the wording, but I basically says, you know, due to some Facebook changes and their algorithms, we have found the most successful way to have a virtual parties on Facebook is to group them together with 3 to 5 hosts. It is still super fun, and everybody will be able to see more of the posts. I think, what else did I say? There was, don't worry that everybody, that you will still have your own ordering link, and someone from your party will get a prize. So I've only had very few people that have said they don't want to do it. And these are people that have been past hosts with me. So I'll occasionally do a single party. But they know that they got to have 40 people in that party, no matter what. They, I'm reading your words here. Your words look very similar to mine, Laura.
Yeah.
I got it. I can't even think right now who I got it from. But anyways, they, so I have to, you can't just see how many members there are. So that's the one big difference I do, is that I have, you know, one of these very expensive little 59-cent notebooks from Target, whatever, that I keep. I go through the membership list, the members list. You can adjust it to go by join date. And so I go all the way to the bottom and I start writing, and you can see who invited them. So I'll just start writing down every one of my guests, every member. So I had a party like 2 weeks ago. There was over 200 members in the party. Luckily it wasn't all at one time, but I write down every person's name, because then I'll go back, you know, as they're commenting during the party, and I just gotta make little notes. I mean, and it's all, like, I love all of my little color coding on there, highlighting. These are, the green is they booked, yellows they potentially booking. But that's how I keep track of the people and what they're kind of commenting on and what they might need if they filled out a wish list. And that way I can count and tell my host, all right, you have 13 members that have joined. And I coach them to get more. That's part of my host coaching system, to make sure that I'm going back and telling them, you have, because my goal is I tell them to begin with, I want, 40 to 50 members. If they hit 40, I let them know that they're going to get a gift from me if they hit 40 members. All right. Guess what their gift is? Season's Best Cookbook. So they'll get a gift from me if they get to 40 members. So it's a little incentive to get them up there, if they're like at 20. So I don't do host coaching in a group. I don't like that. I want to keep each conversation specific and personal. So, most of the time I'm sending them each one the same thing. But when you're giving them engagement posts, like on my pre-party days, there's 3 days out of my host coaching schedule, I give them just engagement posts. Well, of course, they can't have all the same engagement post. So I give them each their own engagement post to put up there. And that really gets the party flying. And my guests, they don't care. It's just, I'm not friends with Amber, but I'm going to comment on Amber's post. I'm not friends with Julie. I'm going to, they're commenting on everybody's posts. And the algorithms are much, much better. Much, much better. So, anybody got specific questions about block parties or that you want me to touch on real quick?
Not seeing anything else here. Marion says,
You can always bring them at the panel at the end too.
I play a food fight game, alphabet game. We all have that host interaction, but I encourage the guests to tag each other as they throw a food. The increased tagging generates a lot more views on my party. Yes, this is why we encourage engagements.
Definitely.
Do you guys know about the group insights on your Facebook group? If you have over 50 people in a group, you can do a group insights and it will tell you when people are looking. Like you can see, okay, I have this many people looking on the first day and this on the second day and this on the third day, and then down here is the fourth day. You might want to make sure that your posts are appropriate. You can really analyze your business that way based on group insights, but you have to have 50 people in the group to get the group insights. It'll also tell you how many in one of the analytics is who posted the most, who commented the most. That helps you with your grand prize drawing. But you want 50 people in the group to do that.
Yes. Tiffany.
And most in a block party, I find people don't know who is friends with who's. Like they're commenting because it's a party. At any party, you don't have to know everybody at the party. That's normal, right?
Right. Absolutely. Tiffany has a video for group insights that she will be posting for us in the retreat. And this is why she's the Jedi Master. All right. Does anybody have anything else? Nope. All right. Then we're going to stop the recording just a few minutes early. I know we kind of ran things back to back there a little bit. So we'll give you guys a 10-minute break. Okay. So you can go grab a drink, a snack, go use the bathroom, let the dog out. Whatever works.
That's where I'm off to.
And then we'll be back here at 10 after for the Q&A panel.